Hello and welcome to the workbench. We have got the new Way Cool, the one that everybody's getting, the SCX24 Base Camp Edition. This is that little $99 crawler that looked quite interesting. So I think the questions on this are, is it really an SCX24? And is it worth getting for a kid or your first crawler? I think those are really the questions, right? So let's take a look and find out. Alright, well, we know you get all the stuff. This is one of the few models that is indeed ready to run. It's got everything. And here is the bottom. It looks to me like an SCX24. It looks like the same kind of stuff. Here is another SCX24 next to it. Same kind of stuff, except this does not have oil shocks. But we knew that already. You've seen all the other videos. Let's open it up and see what else we can figure out about this thing. Well, let's see. Oh, it's Velcroed. Well, we figured that out. Back is Velcro too. Battery. Radio. Doesn't feel like... No, there are no inserts. Are they glued on? Yes, they are glued on. That is disappointing. I would have liked to not seen them glued on. So yeah, it's an SCX24, isn't it? Same stuff. Same stuff. Well, that's good because the SCX24 is a very capable crawler. It's a nice crawler. Is this a good crawler? I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. But we will try it on the old bench rock track. We'll get that going. We'll see how it works. And then we'll get going. I was thinking about another thing I wanted to share is, why don't they sell a crawler without a radio? You know, give me the real shocks and don't give me the transmitter, because I already have a transmitter. I have lots of these. You probably do too. You know, just don't give me this and give me real good shocks. Anyway, that's my opinion. All right, let me get the bench rock crawling course, the battery charged, ready to go, and we'll give it a shot. And then we will figure out what we're going to do with this crawler on the channel. You could probably tell by some of the stuff that's here already on the bench. Alright, I have the battery charged and I want to show you a few things I've learned since I was waiting for this and I was RTFMing, reading the factory manual. First thing that's not in the manual is on this plug right here, this spot, there are two little nubs. Those nubs are the locking nubs that lock this into place. If you're finding it difficult to plug and unplug this and you're worried about yanking the wires out of this plug, you can file these little nubs down a little bit so that it's easier to remove it from here. So that may help you, and that'll help the kiddos out too. They won't be ripping out the wires. So those two little nubs, you can get those going. That'll help. You can also, to make it easier on yourself, remove this thing and put a piece of Velcro here, a piece of Velcro here, and then you can just Velcro this onto there and you'd be done. And if you're worried about the Velcro and all that stuff, then use the Velcro versions of the command strips. Those are easy ones. They're easy to take off if you decide you don't like it. The other thing that I've seen on this is, I think that this piece, because it connects to the back here like that, I think they should have put the Velcro on the top and made it like this, so that when you rotated it open, it would rotate this like this, and then you'd have a full rotation and it would stay up and things would be good. They would have had to redesign this whole thing. Probably would have been not as sturdy. So maybe that's why they did it the way they did it. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not a product engineer. The other thing I noticed is that in here, in the back, or the front of the radio, are a bunch of connectors. See that? So in the instruction book on page 10, it tells you what each of those things do. And the ones that caught my eye is the bind mode. So if you want to bind this to another radio, another Spectrum radio. It also has the jumper mode, so you can turn off and on the brake. So if you want the brake on when you, like on a buggy race car, you can turn on brake if you want. For crawlers, they say they don't recommend it, but if you like that, you can flip this little jumper here in mode, and it'll turn the brake on for you. But here's the most important, way cool thing. Throttle. THR. So for throttle, that means you can plug in a external speed control. One of these guys. Directly into here. Unplug this motor, because obviously you're not going to be using that motor anymore. You'll be using a different motor. But you would unplug that motor, plug in your electronic speed control into the radio, and you don't have to replace the radio. So, was that the case with the Micro B? Here is the Micro B radio. And no, it is not the case with the Micro B. The Micro B has a connection for the servo, connection for the radio, and for the battery, and a connection for the motor. It doesn't have that radio. So the well, this is a bigger radio too. That's probably why it doesn't have that. Interesting. All right, let's try it out on the rock, shall we? Oh, I don't know if that was a tough obstacle or not. I never set this up the same way twice. Well, that was pretty good. Went straight up that. Not too jabby, just what I would expect from an SCX24. You can tell that the dampeners are friction, as they call it. They don't have oil in them, so they don't do any dampening. All they do is allow for flexing of the suspension. Yeah, not too bad at all. Nice steering response. Got plenty of torque on the motor and on the steering servo. So that's good. It's not binding on the steering servo at all. It's allowing me to move how I want it to move, when I want it to move. Good low end speed. I'm liking this thing. Alright, let's add a little bit more to it here. Let's see what happens when I do this. I'm sure it's going to tip right over, but we'll see. Right up that. Boy, this is a great little crawler. I am impressed. got a good, yeah. Well, I didn't expect it to go as far as it did. Let's see. There we go. I am impressed. I think you should be too. This is not an easy climb right here. Yeah, I'm impressed. Not bad. Good job, Axial. Or yeah, Axial's who make this Horizon Hobbies. Great job. Ready to run out of the box. Great crawler out of the box. So, should you buy this for your kiddos? Should you buy this if this is your first crawler? Sure, it's $100. Why not? I mean, come on. Yeah. You can always upgrade it if you want. So, yeah. So, to me, this crawler is for the first-time person to see if they want to get into microcrawling, and for buying one for your kids so that they don't play with yours. They can have their own. So, yeah, that's my assessment. Buy one as your first one. See if you like doing it. Buy one for your kids. Have a good time with them out in the field. I'm going to look to see if I can do a poor man's conversion on these. And so, yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel. Poor man's conversion to make these dampening. And a why the heck are you doing that to a $99 model motor that costs just darn as much as this thing did. I have this other motor right here. This is for an MN99 build. This is a brushless Surpass Hobbies. It is a 1120 kV. It's a slower motor, but I think I have the right transmission for it. So stay tuned for that as well. And we got the rat rod build moving along as well. Lots of things to come on the workbench. And thank you all for watching, and happy crawling.